Here we are with our fourth video, and this time we really have something extraordinary to show you. This is an immense sword. It looks like something out of the medieval days, something that King Arthur may have pulled out of a stone, but it was made in Germany in 1941, and it was made for presentation to Hermann Göring. It's an immense sword with a crucible hilt. It must weigh, I would think close to 20 pounds. The hilt is produced of brass, and the blade is a solid Damascus, but I'm going to show you these things in a second. But first I want you to get an idea of what the size of this immense weapon. It just is really the biggest sword I've seen that comes from the period. It's even bigger than the Solingen Hitler citizenship sword. Now, before we get into the particulars of the sword, Hermann Göring in 1936 was put in charge of the 4-year plan by Hitler. And the purpose of this was to get rid of any unemployment, to build the Autobahn properly, start factories, aluminum and steel, and basically put Germany on a wartime economy. So in 1936, Hitler instilled the 4-year plan, and by 1940 he wanted Germany ready to go to war, and he put his second in command, Hermann Göring, in charge of it. Göring was given extraordinary powers to control the system also. One of the biggest factories that benefited from the 4-year plan was the Krupp steel firm. Krupp, of course, they made many of the weapons that were used by Germany in the war, and also produced the steel for the battleships, the U-boats. They were also the producer of the famous King Tiger tank. So they really were quite a firm. And apparently, because of the success that Krupp had achieved, because of Göring's leadership, they thought that it would be a great thing as a gift to forge a sword for presentation to Hermann Göring. But it wasn't to be a sword that was a delicate wearing type of an item. It was more like something that would portray the strength of Germany. And that's what this weapon represents. It's not a beautiful thing, it's just plain impressive. Now, on the blade, it's a very interesting Damascus blade. I don't know how anyone could even make it. It's so huge. But it's actually made with almost 4 edges instead of 2, because the center ricasso is a very high ridge. And the center ricasso on the obverse is where the presentation was put onto the sword. And the way it was done, it's not an acid eating process like most presentations we see, but rather each one of the letters in the presentation was hand chiseled out of the Damascus steel. And basically what it says in English is, "To the Schmidt," meaning the blacksmith of the 4-year plan, Reichsmarshal Hermann Göring, and from the German weapon makers. And then there is a logo of the Krupp factory, which is 3 circles intertwined, that precedes the dedication. I think that to call Göring the smith of the plan was an honor bestowed to him by the people that actually worked and made the remarkable weapons that were produced during World War II by Germany. The reverse of the blade is the plain Damascus, and the center ridge is a fuller that runs down. to about 2/3 of the length. The hilt of this sword, I'm going to have to put it down because it's too heavy to hold on to. Let me just move it over a little bit so the camera can see it. The hilt of the sword is a crucible style, as I said, and it's made of all brass work, and the handle, which is six-sided, 6 flat sides, has like a fish scale decoration that was hand peened into the surfaces. The pommel also has 6 sides, which kind of mimics the grip. And then the crossguard is a very large, no-nonsense affair that really gives it the crucible style. I think we're going to have a cat visiting us here. He likes to be in all these videos. He's our star, CJ. Okay, buddy. Thanks for coming in, and we'll see you later. Oh, it's not going to be that easy. I wanted to show you also with the hilt section of this sword. It's very unique the way the weapon disassembles. The handle part, the grip part, and the pommel are all one piece with a round ferrule at the bottom, which is also part of the grip. And screwing it off, it's a very machined process here, beautifully done. You'll see, surprisingly, the bottom of the hilt has a threaded rod put into it, secured into it. And then what happens, this, we may have to jockey this a little bit. Well, somebody put it on here too good. But what's done here, the brass and the ferrule of the crossguard are forced over a small, almost like a segment that's part of the blade, and it comes off that way. So it's a very easy piece to disassemble, but the workmanship involved here is really fantastic. So I'll put this back here before I wreck something. Oops, didn't get the threads going right here. There we go. Now you notice the machining here when this goes on. There's none of that wobble stuff that you see sometimes on things that are not made properly. It's just beautiful the way it goes in. So there you are. This is the Hermann Göring 4-year plan sword. It has already been sold, and I've had the pleasure of handling it before it gets shipped off to Germany, and I wanted to let you collectors see what a remarkable weapon this is and what a great piece of history that it represents. Hope you like this. Thank you very much.